Well, good morning, friends. And we're getting quite a few of you people. Like, we're getting quite a few friends. Have you noticed that? Like, we're getting some friends. People actually like us, which we're very thankful for. And we are praying for you all. And we are just happy that somebody finds us worth watching, I guess, if you will. So today's a big day.
It's a giant day.
It's a very giant day. Well, the start of a week, a giant week, I guess. Today's not the big day. But what are we doing today, Dad?
Today we're headed down to Madison, which is where we go for most of the medical appointments for our youngest boys. And we're headed down there today because we have to do a couple pre-surgery
the virus check.
Yeah, we gotta check for that, and we got some other things to do. But bottom line is, we're headed down to Madison today because tomorrow Jaxson has surgery. Big surgery.
Possibly. It could be a big surgery, or it could be just more minor, if you will.
No, I don't think that's the right way. No matter what, it's a big surgery in the sense that we have layers of what could happen based on what the surgeon will see once he starts the process. And so as we sit here today, we don't know the full scope of what will take place. What
we do know for sure happening is he's getting a G-tube. Yes. That we know for sure, 100%.
And if you don't know what a G-tube is, it's basically like this little button that goes right into your belly, because Jaxson has a lot of challenges when it comes to eating, and so that will allow us to ensure that he gets the calories and the hydration that he needs to grow.
Especially after the surgery, it's going to be huge, because the other part of his surgery is he's going to have some nasal scraping, which I know sounds horrible. Every time I think about it, my eyes water. And then possibly some throat stuff as well. So again, and that's some ENT stuff, but that, from what we've heard, could be really painful, and the most painful part is to eat. Well, the nice part about him having this new G-tube is that he won't have to eat by mouth, and he'll still get nourished. Yeah. So that's a added bonus.
Yeah, the painful part about the eating is the swallowing.
Yeah.
And he'll be able to avoid that for at least a few days while he recovers. But all of that's all kind of like a given. We know that's going to take place.
To what extent with the ENT, they're not sure. Until they're in there, they won't know.
Right.
They're going to do what's called a scope, which means they take a scope down while he's asleep and are able to get a better view than they did when we did one while he was awake.
Right. But the biggest variable amongst everything is the attempted fix at his Hirschsprung's. And again, if you haven't seen any of the videos before, don't know what it is, it basically means he doesn't have working nerves in his lower GI. So basically from his bum up to his
liver. That's what we were told
so
with the last surgery. Because again, I guess we need to go back. He's already had this attempted surgery once, and when what they do is they go up his bum and they take biopsies, and they're looking for live nerves. And when you have live nerves, you have two parts. You have a stem to the nerve, and you have arms to the nerve. Jaxson has neither, which technically is not. It is unheard of. Yeah. And we had a doctor say, out of my the first surgeon that did this surgery, so like, I've never seen this in my whole career. And so, and then when we had the other doctor,
hold on. So, but that's why he went in there, and because he saw this result, he just stopped.
He just stopped and said, "You get an ostomy," which we've been dealing with since Jaxson has been a few days old, about a week old.
Yeah. And
so it's become second nature. It is what it is. But when we got back to Wisconsin, we had a surgeon kind of review everything. He came to us too saying, that ain't right. meaning about the two, not having one or the other with the arms or the stem. So
what we're hoping, what we're truly hoping is that there was faulty aspects of the biopsies when he was in surgery before.
Which would be kind of a fluke, and everybody said that it's kind of a fluke because they took multiple stages. Because what they normally do with Hirschsprung's is they try to take biopsies as high as they can until they hit the nerves. Well, they were already up to his liver and they couldn't find any. So for him all to be wrong, it's kind of unheard of.
Yeah.
But it could be. So
at this point,
but then the big question mark is, if this is the case, is it really Hirschsprung's or is it something else too? So we've got this huge variable. So tomorrow we are going to be finding out what's going on, and either he's going to come out with no ostomy and a fixed bum,
and a system that works like normal,
like a typical system. And then if that's the case, he has to learn how to poop. Like his system has to kind of wake up, because you have to realize he hasn't pooped
in his entire life
on his own. I mean, because they did a suppository and he pooped that way, but that wasn't real. And so, or he comes back out with an ostomy and we have to see where we go from there. I mean, from what our surgeon said is you've got one shot at this surgery. So they're not goofing around at it. They're not trying to mess around, if you will. Like, they're not going to try to do it if they're not confident to do it. So
correct, which is why that first surgeon said he just backed away, because he knew the severity, that he had one chance.
Well, he said that if he did it, if he would have cut up there, he would have had no bowel. Like, he just wouldn't have had, like, he would have been a guaranteed ostomy for the rest of his life, pretty much. So,
and he knew the stakes, and didn't want to make that choice on a 1-week-old
which
child.
we were so appreciative of. And the surgeon here said that surgeon did everything he would have done. And so we just have these big variables. And so we're praying heavily that it's God's will. I mean, it's, again, the ostomy's not the end of the world. It kind of is what it is. We've gotten used to it. Yeah. It can be kind of a pain in the butt at 4 a.m. when it's blown.
Well, and yesterday as we were changing it, I was saying it's not a big deal right now in this stage of his life. When he's a couple months old, he's not really moving, he's not really grabbing and pulling and doing all those things.
Except he has grabbed it a couple times this last week.
That's true, but
he's actually uncapped it, which is really interesting.
That's a mess. But to
your point,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and again, as a child that has cognitive challenges to some extent. I mean, we don't know the full scale of what he's going to be dealing with. This could be an unwanted challenge for many years if that's the way it unfolds.
Well, and as he grows, we have to learn new ostomy bags too. So I mean, it's a constant learning curve. Again, totally, we'll figure it out if that's what God has in our store, and that's okay.
But from a quality of life standpoint, the stakes are pretty high.
Oh, for sure. I mean, obviously, we'd want him pooping out his bum versus a bag.
Right.
But again, if Jaxson, if this is the case, if he is just going to have an ostomy and that's what's going to happen, he doesn't know any different. So that I mean, there is a blessing to that. He does not, just like Corbin is tube fed and he does not eat at all. He doesn't know any different. Right. It's not like he ate for so many years and now he knows he's missing out. So I guess that's the hidden blessing, if you will, with it. Yeah,
and obviously Jaxson still has the capability of eating. He still has the capability of growing. I mean, the kid's a chunk.
Yeah, he is. He is chunky.
So it's not
beautifully chunky. I love it.
I say it's a quality of life issue as opposed to a life or death issue.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
For sure.
Obviously there are a lot of people and a lot of parents that deal with more severe things when it comes to life or death.
Oh my goodness, for sure. Both of our boys are doing, for the most part, awesome. Do we have our challenges and do we have our little things? Well, of course. But that's cool. I mean, it is what it is. And so, yeah, so we are off to Madison. It's a beautiful day. Like, the sun is shining. We got some fresh snow yesterday, so it's nice and clean, if you will. It was starting to look a little gray and dusky around here. It's actually starting to look more like fall than it was winter.
It's all freshened up for you.
So it's all freshened up. Got a little birthday gift yesterday of some fresh snow. I love fresh snow. I love watching snow. I love rain. I love snow.
And all that fresh snow gave us that started to melt here this morning with the sun. Gave us a little bit of a, I don't want to say a panic, but all our power went out. Literally,
like really
minutes before we were walking out the door. So that was we're potentially walking out the door for a week, and
yeah, because that's the other thing is we had to leave all of the kiddos. This is the first time I have left Corbin for this long. There was a lot of tears, and again, it's always hard for me to leave all my kids. We are so close as a family, and we're always together. Like, we're just always, and it's a really beautiful thing. We all are super bonded to each other, and it's difficult. I mean, even our older daughters were just like, there's just a little somberness to it. They get, your mom's coming.
Right.
And so they get a little Nana time, which is awesome. I mean, that's always great. We love that. So they'll be well taken care of. And thank goodness Poppy is doing fabulous.
Oh, yes.
And, I mean, God is just showing us he's there. And that's where, going into this week, I think after last week was so grim for us a little bit, just
it was a low point.
It was a low point for us as a family, just in our nation. For us it was just, it's an awakening. And I think, but God is proving that he is there. He is carrying us through all this, and I think that was a really good, it was a need, because we're going into a tough week, and we are going to bring you guys along as much as we can with all this. And kind of just, I think you're going to be, are you going to be loading them up live a little bit? Like, not live, but we're going to try to load these up so you guys are kind of kept in the loop as much as possible.
Yeah, it's going to be, I don't know what you want to call it, more raw footage where we're going to just, I'm not.
And we're still learning all that.
Oh my gosh.
Are we still learning all that?
I tell you what, it's.
The Poppy video was a little rough. But you're learning. But you are so learning.
I am learning. And it's just.
But I mean, you made up for it with your cow mounting one. I mean, gosh. I literally almost peed my pants. I did not see that footage until it was live on Facebook or on YouTube.
Yeah, you rewound that, what, like 7-8 times?
My husband's, I mean, this is, y'all wanted to see it. You all wanted to see it. And if I was to tell somebody Jeff got mounted by a cow, they'd be like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, they would never have been able to capture your face, your reaction, and your non-good bleeping out, because he kind of didn't bleep that out very well. But it's hilarious. Like, if you haven't watched it, please go watch it, but please make sure you go to the bathroom first, because I don't want to be responsible for you peeing your pants, because I almost did. Literally almost did. That was an awesome birthday gift.
So, but yeah, well, the video has been good, but in all honesty, I'm having some fun doing this, but it's been, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a much larger or steeper learning curve than I anticipated. And then on top of that,
but don't you think every YouTube person says that? Like, every person hates their first few videos.
But on top of that, we've been dealing with Jaxson not sleeping, and I've been doing these things at like 3 in the morning.
No, it wasn't just Jaxson not sleeping. You were also taking care of Poppy.
Oh, well, yeah.
On top of that, like, you literally got like hours of sleep. Like,
yeah. So I'm not sitting here really apologizing for the quality of the production. It was the big goal was I wanted to get it out before we were gone for like a week,
but your raw one, I mean, your one is like,
yeah, but
Poppy's was a little rough.
No, it is.
But it is okay. Yeah. Like, it is what it is. And I'm just gonna put a little side note, that Hazel is not
a steer.
She's not a steer. We did not name a boy Hazel. Hazel is a girl.
Right.
She's out with the steers. But I just want to clarify out there that we do understand the difference between heifers and...
I was still in shock of being mounted by a cow and not thinking very clearly at that point. So forgive me for the slip up of the tongue there.
My poor husband got mounted by a cow.
It's true.
True story, and we got it on film.
That's even better.
So we are starting this journey.
Yeah. So we'll probably do, I don't know, a series of little short updates along the way this week. And again, so today's Monday, so we'll make sure to get this up, as quickly as we can on Monday, and then we'll keep you guys posted along the way.
Wish us luck.
Yeah. Have a blessed day.